6 o'clock p.m. We will call this regular scheduled September 5 city council meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Berkman,
Yes.
Mahler, Wally,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Thank you. Need a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion about the agenda before we call the roll again? If not, call the roll, please.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
yes,
Berkman,
Yes.
Wally. Yes.
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Tonight for the consent agenda, we have the following items. Minutes of the August 21st, 2023 regular city council meeting. Payments for contract services, none, that's unusual. Claims registered and financials, the amount of $1,181,826.57. License and permits, we have none. Need a motion to approve those items?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Berkman,
Yes.
Wally. Yes. Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
yes,
Thank you. We're already to city administrator report.
All right. I think at the last meeting, I gave a little bit of a heads up that I was going to be having some conversations with legislators, just trying to get to know a few and build some relationships. So I did have coffee with Senator Brad Zahn and had a chance when she was in Perry last week to have a conversation with Senator Sarah Trone Garrett. So both were good conversations, just kind of, again, trying to build those relationships and lines of communication so that when session is open and pre-session, we can more effectively communicate kind of Perry's needs, what we have going, and how some legislation could affect us positively or negatively. So excited to keep those conversations going and building those relationships. I hope Friday to get together with Jesse Green. He's going to be in town, so hopefully he can get together when he's done with his first meeting. I think from the looks of the agenda, we'll touch on just about every project we have going other than the Bateman project or the downtown improvements project. They may have been in today. CenturyLink / Lumen finally sort of got their act together, got some of their stuff moved, and allowed the contractor to complete the storm sewer, water main, all that good stuff, and backfill. And the paving contractor was there today. We didn't make it out to see if they did any paving, but they were definitely setting forms when I stopped by this morning. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, that project is behind us. But we will be having a conversation with Lumen on how projects will go in the future in Perry. So that's kind of what I've got. Any questions?
what about the school?
The school.
Or the Rosen or wherever it was, their platform event.
Oh, we were out there this morning. John, do you want to give an update on the all-inclusive playground issues? Oh, it's on there. Is that okay, or do you want something now? Okay. Yep.
Anything else for Sven? Any questions or anything? I think it's great that you're having so many conversations with legislators, trying to build some rapport and see if we can get something done this next legislative session. Kudos for that. If there's nothing else, we'll go on to mayor council comments. I just wanted to, something of this may be discussed also on the agenda, but I just wanted to say kudos to everybody who is involved with the inclusive playground. You know, it's great that that's almost done, almost ready to open. You know, I certainly want to recognize and thank. Unfortunately, I don't know who to recognize, so you always leave somebody out. But I want to, you know, certainly thank Rotary and Dirk Kavanaugh, you know, who took a great big role in making this happen. The city, you know, our Parks and Recreation and other city staff, 100 people for Perry, I know donated. I think we had some corporate donations. We had other donations, probably large and small, and I know I'm leaving people out, but I wanted to also give a general thank you to everybody who was involved, either through donations or in other ways of making it happen. It's a great addition to Perry. Not too many places I don't think have these, regardless of their size. It's something that gives people, children of all abilities, to be involved in their friends and their family, and it's just another great thing that we have going for Perry. I think that's all I have. Council comments?
October 7th will be our car show here in town. Be uptown from 10 to 2. We've been handing pamphlets out all over. Hopefully we'll break 100 this year. Everything's almost ready. Yeah. Still need an outhouse, John.
Gotta give Dean credit. He's pushing it. I think it's gonna be on our agenda every week till it happens. And then we'll expect a report after it happens. Hopefully positive.
Yes.
Anybody else for council comments? I just also want to recognize a special guest we have tonight, Justine. I don't want to embarrass Justine. Hopefully I'm not, but Justine's a foreign exchange student at the high school this year. You want to say any words to us? If you do, you can. If not, you don't have to. But... Okay, well that'll be next. Okay. That's next. So open forum, you can be up first. Speakers, as always, will be asked to step up to the microphone and state their name and address for the record. And individual speaking will be given up to 3 minutes to address council. Justine, you're up first. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Justine is a foreign exchange student from Latvia. She's staying with my wife and daughter and I this year. We've been with us for about a month now.
Yeah.
Things are going well, I think, I hope. But part of the foreign exchange program is volunteer hours. And one of the things that WorldLink has done is they've partnered with Reggie Sleep Out, if you're familiar with that program. At Drake University, they're out on the football field. They do the camping out to emulate what it would be like to be on the streets for a night. I don't know if you're familiar with the program or not, but Justine is here to basically ask for help with raising her goal.
Yeah, so Reggie Sleep Out is an event, that's happening at Drake University's football field at the 30th of September. This organization, Reggie's, they help homeless youth and kids who have aged out of the foster care system to help them financially. This donating to this organization is a really great way to give back to the community and help support our youth. I'm going to give out these handouts, and there is a QR code. With that, you could help donate by putting my name in there.
So it's got the instructions spelled out, and we've already had some donations, but don't feel like anybody has to do anything today. Just check out the barcode. Know what it's going to be versus.
I'm not doing that.
So she'll have those and we'll hand those out after.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, welcome to Perry. Hope you have an exciting year. I'm sure you will. Okay, other people for open forum. Don, I think you are Chief. Don, you want to go next? Don, I know you have something you want to bring up.
Don Richardson, I'm the Senior Vice Commander with Floyd Foster Post 2060 here in Perry. And I'm back this month to talk about a Ruck for the Troops. We're having a Ruck March on Saturday, September 23rd, 10 a.m. in the morning. Registration will begin at 9 a.m. And we are going to start and end the Ruck March at the Perry Veterans Memorial Park. And as of last week, it is now officially a park, I guess, because the stone out front was engraved with the letters park on. it. So we Google maps and everything else will catch up with it on that. Anyway, it's a 5K. It's optional if you wear a ruck, but that's a military tradition. Put 40 pounds in the back on your back in a ruck, and you march the 3 miles. There won't be any cadence, anything like that. The young people and some adults ran it last year, and it shouldn't be too much of a traffic disruption. It's we go out McKinley to the high school, go over to Park Street, and then back towards the cemetery. March by our namesake Floyd Foster, who passed away in World War, or was a KIA in World War I. Then we finish up back at Memorial Park. It's a fundraiser for veterans. It's a veterans in need, and also the local VFW post. And $40 for registration. And I guess feel like we're almost with the times is that we also have a QR code and you can register and pay online and everything. So trying to keep up with the young ones. But anyway, that's September 23rd with that. And also I gotta give a shout out to the Parks Department also for maintaining the park. Now it looks great out there. We've got the lights going. Weeds got out of control this summer. We're getting those back under control and making it, we'll have it ready for Veterans Day and lit up for that also. And lastly, one comment, there's no national colors in the room here. We're having official meetings and there's no national flag. So I just, it's a concerned, I guess, as a veteran anyway, and why there isn't a flag in here or a state of Iowa flag. So that's all I have. Probably burn up my 3 minutes. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great cause. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Chief?
Eric Bond, citizen of Perry. So tonight you guys will be discussing what I consider an environmental issue, open burning. When you're discussing that and coming to a decision, I want you to think about all the environmental issues that you guys have worked on over the past couple of years and spend money on. Thousands and thousands of dollars you spend money on. We have solar panels. We've talked about having charging stations for electric cars. We're working on wetland projects, not only here in the city of Perry, but also for an airport. But we continue to allow open burning. So how many of you over this summer have walked out of your house and complained about the smoke that you smell? So think about that again this fall. So we're all about environmental issues. The city pushes green, but here we go, saving a couple $1,000s so we can burn leaves. So please think about that when you're making your decision. And as you can probably tell, I'm opposed to it as a citizen.
Thank you.
Say, I've got a question before you step away. I know the open burning fines haven't been pushed much. Is there any amount of fine if you're caught open burning, if we say no open burning this year?
But I guess
Is
I
it
think
$250
I think it's $250 is what you guys set last.
We might make that part of the ordinance.
$250? I just wanted the public to know how much a fine would be. if we
Yeah.
caught burning.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Anybody else for open forum on anything related to tonight's agenda or any other topic you want to share with the city?
Jim Caulfield, 2124 Estella Street. I'd also like to speak to the open burning question. I support open burning. Prior to 2015, the city allowed burning from April 1 to June 1. And also from October 1 to Thanksgiving. Now in 2016, that was reduced. Spring burning was eliminated. Fall burning was reduced to 3 weeks. Now people complain that the smoke is bad, and it is. And partly that's because we've compressed the burning into a very narrow window. So everybody's burning at the same time. Cities like Jefferson and Adel have year-round open burning. it's much less of a problem because you burn yours this week and maybe somebody else does next week. It's not concentrated all at one time. That's just one point. I'd say that, the conservation department, county conservation, they have controlled burns. I mean, burning in and of itself is not an environmental toxin. Okay, I mean, burning leaves, the smell of burning leaves is something we all grew up with, and some of us kind of are endeared to it. Now, just because we've been doing it for decades and centuries, perhaps, and just because the farm properties all around us can do it at any time, that in and of itself is no reason to continue it. And there might be strong reasons, as the chief mentions, to discontinue it. But I just wanted to, at least put in a word for open burning, which we've been doing for years, and might as well keep on. It's good enough for mothers. It was good enough for us.
Thank you. Anybody else for open forum tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business. First item on old business is resolution approving a temporary construction easement. Staff has deemed it necessary to have temporary construction easement for the Iowa Street stormwater wetland project or on property owned by Perry Economic Development, being part of Lot 3 of the Perry Commercial Park. Such temporary construction easement would grant access to this area during construction and has been agreed to and signed by City Economic Development. This area is detailed in the map of easement that was included with our packet tonight. Need a motion to,
Motion that we pass the resolution approving a temporary construction easement for lot 1.
I'll second that.
thank you. Discussion.
So both A and B on the agenda are for the same thing. And these, currently there is a 30-foot permanent utility easement. And this is just an extra 20 feet of temporary easement to do the construction. But this would be for the far north and west 2 lots. There on the map, you can kind of see where it goes up from that wetland behind Super 8 north to Willis. And one change from this concept is it will be an underground pipe outlet through there. So it'll be easier to maintain, can do plantings and construct closer to it. So that'll be part of that whole project, but necessary to get these easements in place. Perry Economic Development's already signed off on them. So just need a quick authorization for these 2.
Any further discussion? If not, call the roll on A.
Walling. Yes. Berkland.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes,
B, resolution approving a temporary construction easement. Staff has deemed it necessary to have a temporary construction easement for the Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland Project on property owned by Perry Economic Development, being part of Lot 2 of the Perry Commercial Park. Such temporary construction easement would grant access to this area during construction and has been agreed to and signed off by Perry Economic Development. This area is detailed in the map that was included as part of our packet. Need a motion?
I make a motion, we'll pass resolution, to give a temporary construction easement.
I'll second.
As Sven indicated, this is basically it goes along with the first item, letter A. Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Berkland.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes,
Walling. Yes. Schott.
Yes.
Okay. Next item under old business, approval of pay application number 27 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. Pay application number 27 in the amount of $728,747.60 to Woodruff Construction is for the construction of the wastewater treatment facility improvements. To date, total payments requested by the contractor are 85.4% of the total amount of work to be completed under the contract. All documents have been reviewed and signed by the engineer and are recommended for approval. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve pay application number 27 for wastewater treatment facility improvements.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
One of you.
Just skip that, it's your turn.
Well, so they're starting to move along, finalizing grading on the final site plan, so those pieces are starting to move together. Some of the processes like the aeration basins, those mechanical operations are all in place. So we're doing some demos of those, making sure those are all working properly. Still waiting on several electric components. But they are starting to slowly trickle in, which is a good thing. At this point, mostly a lot of the operation is focused on coatings, which is a process that goes in place towards the end of the process for protection of the metal elements for the corrosive action of the plant. So that's where a lot of the elements are going on right now, and that includes anything from floor coatings, pipe coatings, wall coatings, a lot of sandblasting, a lot of simple things like door frames, those kind of things going in. So a lot of work on the interior of the buildings right now. So still moving forward as best as they can. We're still hoping that mechanical equipment continues to show up, and by December, maybe we'll have all of it. We keep fingers crossed. So questions? Maybe we'll be doing a tour soon.
Any further discussion or questions for Matt?
Sorry, my mouse died, Sven. I had to go get batteries. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Klein. Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Molly. Yes. Schott.
Yes.
Next item, approval of pay application number 3 for the runway 14/32 relocation phase 2. Pay application number 3 is in the amount of $84,022.27 to Manetz Incorporated for work completed on phase 2 of the runway relocation has been received and signed by the project manager, which recommends approval. Need a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass approval of pay application number 3 for runway 14/32 relocation phase 2.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
So project's moving along really nicely at this point. I know we've talked several times about the wetlands delay. We have worked our way through that. We've also worked with the county to get the realignment of 150th Street going, so they have started their portion of the project. We had a scheduling meeting last week with all of the contractors, subcontractors. As of right now, all of the paving is done for the 4,000-foot portion of the runway. The grading work is primarily completed. We're at a point where we're ready to put seating in. And the electrical contractors will start running lights along the first 4,000 feet. With the wetlands permit in place, that contractor has started bringing materials in and he needs to start that next phase. He's anticipating roughly about 2 months of work before that'll be done and ready for the remaining 1,500 foot of pavement to be done. As of right now, our tentative schedule is by Christmas, we'll have the lights going. We may have to come back in spring, finish any final grading, seating or those kind of things. But right now, our goal is by Christmas that runway will be usable. So full steam ahead. Hopefully Mother Nature plays nice and keeps us dry for, I know we were looking for rain, but not right now. We need a few months more dry.
Yeah.
So. Questions on that one?
Any questions for Matt or further discussion?
Nice run.
The Nats did an amazing job paving. It's very smooth. Ride's really nice. Good job.
That's fascinating.
Did you go ride on?
Yeah, I've been out last week. Phenomenal how they do that,
It's quite a process.
yes.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, call the roll, please.
Wally,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, approval of pay application number 3 for the runway 14/32 relocation phase 3. Pay application number 3 in the amount of $11,242.69 to Manetz Inc. For work completed on phase 3 of the runway relocation has been received and signed off on by the project manager, who recommends approval. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve the pay application number 3 for the red line 1432 relocation of phase 3.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, approval of 2023 SIP sanitary sewer project invoice. An invoice for the 2023 SIP sanitary sewer project has been received from AccuJet in the amount of $100,994.71 for work completed on the project per their professional service agreement. Public Works Director Josh Webker has reviewed and the submitted invoice and recommends rather its payment. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to pass approval of the 2023 SIP sanitary sewer project invoice.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yeah, so this is a payment to AccuJet for year 2 of sewer lining that we're doing. With this amount, they've done 10 city blocks with that amount. There's still about $40,000 left. There was 2 blocks that we could not do. So we're in the process of trying to find a contractor that could put a manhole in for us, because there's a lamp hole in one of the areas that we're not aware of. So once we get that in, then they can finish up that project and we should be good to go. So really good project that's going to really extend the life of those sewer lines where it was very badly needed.
Thank you. Any questions for Josh or further discussion?
So these were deteriorated lines that were having a lot of infiltration issues.
Yes, these were areas with our sewer program when we do our camera and annual sewer maintenance that we found problems in these areas. It seems like these were areas that we always had for backups and different issues. So basically that's a new pipe inside of an old pipe now. So that was much needed. I think we have about 3 more years of doing some stuff. So I think that's a really good project for our infrastructure.
Great.
Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Berkman.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Next item, approval of pay request number 3. Final for the First Street SIP lining, pay application number 3 in the amount of $9,008.54 to Instiform Technologies, Inc. is for completed SIP lining on the First Street SIP lining project. This is the final pay request for the project and releases the retainage. Work has been completed in accordance with the contract and all documents have been reviewed and signed by the engineer and are recommended for approval. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the pay request number 3, final for the First Street CDE line.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
I can do this. I can do this one too if you want. This is for that line from Willis down to Dollar General, and then it shoots to the west and goes underneath Dollar General. That was an area that had a massive voids in it, and they were able to repair those with the same type of process, just with a different contractor because it was such a large pipe. So this was one that would keep me up at night worrying about this sewer line. So now it's good to go, and I think we're nice to have this project completed as well.
Good. Any questions or further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Klein.
Yes.
Berkman.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Okay, next item, approval of pay application number 1 for the approval number 1 for Reese Park improvements, pay application number 1 in the amount of $52,255.70 to Concrete Professionals. Is the work completed at the project through August 18, 2023. All documents have been reviewed and signed by the project engineer and are recommended for approval. Discussion?
I make a motion to
Yeah, motion, please.
approve pay application number one with the Louisa Park improvements and Dr. Judd.
Oh, wait, we need a second.
I'll second.
Discussion?
So this is the concrete portion of the project, and obviously that is behind us. The playground fixtures have all been put in, and the servicing was finished yesterday. So we had a little hiccups with some anxious citizens that wanted to get on it a little early, but they were able to repair that stuff in real time right before they put on the final servicing. So it's all good. Shout out to the police department for helping us kind of keep an eye on that place and helping us through that. But we should be able to have a ribbon cutting on Wednesday, I believe, of next week, somewhere around noon at the park there. We've got a little bit of work left to do, and we'll start that tomorrow and the next day for putting some new wood fiber down on the old portion of it. And we'll be well on our way to open it up here, hopefully next week, Wednesday. So it's all very good.
It looks great.
It's,
Beautiful project.
it is gonna be great. It's unique. There's nothing like it in town. I was out there horsing around on some of it. There's audio and like music stuff, part of that, and it'll be a lot of fun for me to take my kids there. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, for sure.
Again, it's a great addition to our park system.
It is.
And for the people that have some abilities that will really enable them to use that, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that put a lot of heart and soul into raising the money for this project.
Yes.
We started in 2019. We've been through a lot since then, COVID and inflation and derechos, and it's just awesome to see this kind of come full circle. And I was giving Matt a hard time. I felt like it was an airport project. It's not. Being done here. So only 4 years for my.
It was a long time coming, but it certainly was. worth it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So,
The real payoff will start coming here in the next couple of weeks.
absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about the other two items while you're up here? The change order of the reduction of about $5,000, then final acceptance on the concrete work?
Yep, so we were able to, obviously, we've got the means and the talent to go out there and do that subgrade work before the concrete came in. So we actually took the subgrade within that inch of we removed a lot of material, and we're able to basically get the area prepped for the concrete company to come in. It saved them a whole bunch of time, and it saved us some money. So yeah, we jumped all over that. What was the other one there?
Just final acceptance. You kind of went over that.
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah. I mean,
everything's good.
obviously the concrete, everything worked out really great. They got sub drains put in and everything's tied in well. We shouldn't have any issues with it. So really looking forward to opening her up. So,
Okay,
yeah.
back to the pay application for Reese Park improvements. Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Okay, next item. Approval of change order number 1 for the Weiss Park improvements. Change order number 1 is a balancing charge order that includes a decrease of the contract quantity by 43.29 cubic yards of $115.50 per cubic yard. The change order was reviewed and has been recommended for approval by the project manager. The net decrease of this balancing change order is $4,999.99 with a final contract price of $55,006 and a penny. Why couldn't we just made it $5,000? Oh, well. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion that we pass change order number 1 for Weiss Park improvements.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? It's always nice to get money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the guys. To make it happen.
If there's no further discussion, call the roll, please.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay. Next item, resolution approving statement of completion and final acceptance for the Weiss Park improvements. Project engineer Jacob Aarons and Bolton Mink has submitted the final acceptance and certificate of completion for the Weiss Park improvements in accordance with the plans and specifications and sets the final contract amount at $55,006 and a penny. The project engineer recommends the acceptance of said work and issuance of the final acceptance and certificate of completion of the work under the conditions and guarantee of the contract. This resolution would accept the completion and final acceptance and authorize the mayor to sign all forms necessary to execute this. Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution approving statement of completion and final acceptance for the Weiss Park.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion in addition to what we've already had? If not, call the roll, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Bergman.
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business. Discussion with possible action on resolution setting 2023 fall yard waste open burn dates. The mayor had requested that open burn be discussed for the fall 2023 and that council determine their action for it. In the past, open burning has been set for roughly 3 weeks from 10 a.m. till sundown. A copy of the fall 2022 resolution was sent out to council as directed by the mayor for a reminder of what had taken place for fall 2022. A resolution has been drafted off historical practices with the addition of a municipal infraction that was set per the fall 2022 resolution and has proposed dates for 2023 being from October 31st, 2023 to November 19, 2023. Curbside services for collection of yard waste will continue through December 6, 2023, and the yard waste collection site will remain open for residential disposal of yard waste. As always, residents are encouraged to try and find alternative methods to open burning of yard waste disposal. Our council will need to discuss and determine the outcome for 2023 fall yard waste burn. As indicated, this is an item for discussion and possible action. So let's have a discussion first, and then we'll see if we want to take some possible action here. Discussion.
Motion to enter into discussion. Then we can do it.
Okay, need a motion that we enter into discussion with possible action? Okay,
Calling for discussion.
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
now we'll have a discussion. You know, this is something that, I'll start briefly. This is something we wrestle with
We need. to
every
vote-
year. What?
Call the roll.
vote on that.
Call the roll.
Oh, no, this is just opening it for discussion. So now you can enter the discussion.
This is something we wrestle with every year, you know. So it's time to wrestle and consider it again. Go ahead, council.
I'm gonna start. Last year, we put on approval of our open drop off over by the dog pound. And we kind of okayed it to burn last year. This is really taken off. And I've been fighting this open burning for 8 years. I've got people that have asthma, they've got lung transplants. We're in the middle of a huge drought. I would encourage everybody to vote not to open burn this year. That's my feelings.
Just as a comment on the yard waste drop off site, we have been having some issues with basically everything but yard waste. So the yard waste is going really well. And I think it was last week, they hauled out the pile that was there to start for this fall. And they hauled out the equivalent of 94 of our haul truckloads. We did hire Rep Construction with their side dump to help with hauling, just like they would in the winter hauling snow and things like that. So it is very heavily used out there, and it is everything from larger branches, trees, to yard waste bags, grass clippings, a little bit of everything, so.
And I guess I have to agree with Dean on banning the open burning. And the reason being is we've had so much of the smoke this year that everybody had to stay in during that time. And we do have so many people in the area that do have pulmonary issues that can't get out. And then I know last year at a time, we had decent weather when it was open burning and people couldn't even have their windows open because it was so bad. So I agree. And it is, we do have a drought like this year, so I agree with Dean that we ban open burning.
I've always been an advocate of open burning just because I grew up with the smell. I like the smell, you know, I'm kind of siding with Jim, but at the same time, with the drought conditions and the fact that the yard waste site is so well used, I'm leaning your direction.
You're what?
I'm leaning their direction.
Okay.
I mean, yes, there are some people in my neighborhood that struggle to purchase lawn bags or don't have a vehicle that can haul large quantities of leaves away. And we have a lot of leaves around me. But I think that where there's a will, there's a way. And they've also been the ones that have tried to work when they've been wet.
I think some of that is an opportunity for us to do some education. I know last fall, we talked about, this was pre-Chris, doing some education on the benefits. This is kind of John's deal, the benefits of mulching leaves within the yard, and just mowing over them and letting them be there for more organic matter. That also helps with storm water runoff. I think also note the stuff that's picked up at the curb and what is going to be dropped off. We're going to be working with Metro Waste Authority. They have a very robust composting program. So we're going to be hopefully partnering with them and collaborating to do some composting out at our material site. So that'll be hauling the pile out there, bringing in a company to mulch all of that. And it could also just be Metro Waste coming in and mulching that for us. And then John is going to be our master composter. He's been playing a little bit with that, but you know, that is something that goes back into I think it was 500 yards Metro Waste Authority delivered to the soccer complex, and John and his crew were able to apply that to help build up that organic matter in that soil, which is needed out there. But we're going to be able to make that ourselves, use it in our parks, open spaces, and possibly be able to do give back days where folks can come out and get some compost for their lawns or gardens, things like that. So
That's a very robust composting program, and it is hugely popular to the point where they can actually charge for the compost.
So
Because it's very good compost.
I
I'd love to see
yeah.
that happen.
And I just wanted to make that point of like the yard waste that is dropped off or picked up at the curb. Although maybe not perfect right now, will be used in a composting program. Once we get up and running. I think John and Josh, I think January 1st is the next round of a grant cycle from the DNR that provides money to buy equipment and things like that to help with composting. I think, is that the grant we did for the recycle project initially? So we might be able to look into that too for some significant equipment that we need, but want to make that point. Also point out, this is sometimes lost in the conversation. This is just talking about yard waste burning, but recreational fires would still be allowed under the code. We get a lot of questions at City Hall about that when it's, you know, the conversation about banning burning. You can still have a contained recreational fire on your property.
As long as it's not leaves.
Correct. As long as you're enjoying it, a hot dog and a beer.
like
You
to-
mean if I'm enjoying burning leaves, it's a recreational fire?
That's definition. I would stick to woody material, Councilman Schott.
As part of our education process, I think we need to, once again, educate everybody on what a recreational fire is, what kind of container. I
Yep.
saw one person yesterday. I don't think he probably thought it was a recreational fire, but whatever he thought it was, he's burning in a barrel. And they weren't partying around it, I don't think either.
In other words, it's trash.
I'd like to make one more comment. I don't buy leaf bags to burn or to haul out there. I simply take a tarp and I mulch all my leaves, rake them into the tarp, haul it out. You can put that in a trunk of a car or in a van. I happen to have a pickup. It's easy and it costs me nothing but an old tarp.
Dean, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But we have senior citizens or people with certain disabilities that can't do that. They're not physically able, or they don't have the means to get that stuff and I understand it's a problem. I believe that. Is there such a thing that we can reach out to people that don't have the ability to haul it away? Or don't have the ability to even go out in their yard and put it in silence? And get them some help? So that they could make it happen without, and I understand some of those people couldn't go out and burn either. But they would at least have the option. If you were very careful and you had a small little stack of leaves and you were out there with it, you had a garden hose there and you had a little bit of equipment, you could burn very safely and very cheaply. But I do understand the problems with it too, on both sides of the fence. And I could vote in favor of this thing if there was some way for us to offer a little bit of help for those people that need it.
Well, doesn't the
organized manner.
school, don't they go out because they
This-
mow lawns and stuff?
Who's
out
that?
at School?
So the school does a volunteer day
That's just one day.
that people can do that. But when Daniel Van Holland was here, we started a volunteer program where people can sign up to help. And I believe Mr. Schott is on the list to help out. So if people do need help, they can call up, and I guess now Chris, as our engagement coordinator, will be in charge of that program. But they can get on that list and we'll connect volunteers and people that need help. There you go.
I'll help too.
It doesn't even have, that's a great program. I was gonna bring it up. again, But
And it never took wings. It flew.
I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be as formal as that, if I got a neighbor, if you have a neighbor, anybody has a neighbor that needs some help, we can all go over and offer. It doesn't take,
Yeah.
it's not necessary for somebody to call City Hall, although that program's a good program.
And I'm hearing that that was just for nuisance properties. So maybe we need to, yeah.
We'd have
Or
to
get
change the policy if you want, I mean.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
if
that-
it to be a true community or a true volunteer listening.
Yeah. We could bring that back for consideration.
Yep.
Expand that program.
I can buy into the problems of it. If there's some sort of help and some sort of solutions, so that people that have some restrictions and have some problems have the means to get it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
It'd be nice if, I'm not talking about making it official, just unofficially, if we just had in the community, had a good neighbor policy or practice where we'd help our neighbors. I'm not saying people don't do that, some do, but probably, honestly, more could probably do it.
We do that in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Help each other.
I don't even hardly know most of the neighbors these days. With a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I mean, because I don't know if somebody's really struggling and needs some help. Unless there's a clearinghouse that would.
Hmm.
Well, I used to have a bagger on the back of my rider when I was up on Marina Drive. And my good God, I probably filled 70, 80 bags. I had trees all over.
I still do that.
I guess a couple of concerns I have that I think have already been discussed. We don't have to go back too far. Earlier this summer, I guess it's still technically summer, where state of Iowa, along with many other states, including Perry, Iowa, also had, real problems with the smoke from the wildfires. And I'm not saying this is quite as terrific as or horrific as that is, it's not, but so many people were concerned about that. And just fire in general, it does affect a lot of people. And then, as already been brought up, I know we have this drought, and I'm not hearing any great optimism that it's going to end real soon. And as dry as it is right now, I would be concerned about people burning. Just look at your yard, most of us. I know mine and Chuck's. And lots of people's yards are really drying out.
Dry.
So where are we going, folks? Any more discussion?
I would make a proposal that we ban burning this fall.
I'll second.
Make a resolution?
Is that, well,
Do we need a resolution to it?
it would just be not setting open burning dates, correct? So it'd just be not taking any action.
So last year's action was just for that last year, is that correct?
Yeah, we do it every year. The code states that burning is banned other than what is the dates set by city council. So if no dates are set,
Also, we've not set any dates.
There you go. I'll second that one.
Do we need to set a fine if people do burn?
Well, we have.
it would just be municipal infraction.
Well, that's what we set last year, but would that still be valid?
So you could have them just go back up to $750.
Okay,
At least the recommendation we had last week.
okay.
250 for the first and 500 for the second suspension.
So not setting open burning, encouraging yard waste drop off, curbside drop off,
And Chris is
and Chris's.
getting the word out everywhere.
Well, Chris and John's to do of doing some mulching education. And then we'll bring back updated volunteer program the
Okay.
next meeting. That was your motion? That was your motion?
That was my motion.
That was your
Okay,
second?
Anybody
That was my
that?
second.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
And any communication has to be bilingual, because up in my neighborhood, it's primarily Hispanics that are burning. Primarily.
Well, the resolution, again, repeat your resolution. Is it simply that we will have no open burning?
That's what he said.
So we.
We are
the
not setting
motion-
dates.
No state setting, highlighting the yard waste drop off site, curbside pickup.
So
The mulching and organic matter information education. And then we'll be bringing back a updated volunteer.
You
program.
want to add something in that about the recreational burning? You spoke to that a little bit earlier.
We could,
Definition of it.
just, that might fall into just more of the administrative
Yeah,
education
okay,
side.
all right.
Yeah.
You know, it would seem to me that recreation is sort of what you feel like that.
They'll know it,
No,
they'll know it when they see it, Chuck.
Everybody clear on the resolution we're going to be voting on in a moment?
clear.
Okay, we have a motion. I think we have a second.
So I have Wildland motion to not set any dates for fall burning for 2023, seconded by Klein. And directing staff to essentially do the education on the various things discussed as far as mulching, yard waste, and nobody said it, but do remember, it was in the summary, I think the mayor had said it, that we do collection curbside. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I don't have that in your motion, but I have it. It's in my motion.
Sounds
Giving
good.
direction that we need to do this thing.
Okay,
And I vote
That the
yes.
fines are gonna be fine.
any further discussion before we vote on that resolution? If not, call the roll, please.
So Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes,
Berglund.
Yes.
Scheck.
Yes. I could be workable.
Okay, I think we're done with,
I understand, I understand.
we're done for this year on open burning.
Yes.
Next item. Thank you, everybody. Good discussion. Resolution setting a date and time for a safety and / employee appreciation day. The city has historically held a safety and employee appreciation day once a year. During the City of Perry's Safety and Employee Appreciation Day, employees learn and are updated on important safety programs, policies, and tutorials to maintain a safe workplace. This resolution would approve setting the Safety Employee Appreciation Day for Wednesday, October 11th, 2023, from 10:30 a.m. till 1:30 p.m. in the Perry Police Department's Sally Port located at 908 Willis Avenue. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass resolution setting a date and time for the safety appreciation, employees appreciation day.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I can comment real quick. This will be our 9th safety day that we've had. So kind of something that we really look forward to. A lot of new faces, a lot of new employees. I think it'd be a really good thing to keep going. Have some pretty good speakers lined up for the day. And as always, I'll be sending out a formal invite to council and to the mayor and stuff, but would really appreciate getting this set and approved for all the employees.
No, I agree with everything you said, I believe. It's a great day, a great event. I think people get a lot out of it. I think they really look forward to it. At least that's my impression. Hopefully it's right. And I think it's just a great event that we really want to continue. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Berglund.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next item, resolution setting a public notice for disposal of public property by sale within City of Perry. The city has received a proposal from Balmer LLC to redevelop 4 vacant lots on Otley between 12th and 10th Street by constructing rental duplexes for a total of 8 rental units. The city currently owns such lots and would need to set a public hearing before disposal of the public property by sale could be completed by Balmer LLC. Such public hearing must be held to allow for any and all public commentary on the proposed sale and purchase agreement. This resolution would set the public hearing for September 18th, 2023 on the 2nd floor meeting room of the Towncraft building located at 1122 Willis Avenue, Perry, Iowa at 6 p.m. and would direct the city clerk to publish said notice accordingly. Need a motion, please?
So moved. Sorry.
We have a second?
second.
Okay. Again, this is just to set the public hearing. Any discussion?
Their proposal was included in the packet. So a couple of things, and we'll go more in depth on the 18th, but in conversations with the school district, those were always kind of set as the school will continue to build houses. They're not really sure on the future of their building trades program at this point. And with the change in the legislation, which with our tax abatement program excludes the school's portion of the levy, projects have to be completed and tax abatement approved by July 1st of next year. So kind of with those two things, I went on a bigger push to try and get these lots developed into housing. That's one of our biggest needs and issues in the community. So wanted to make sure that we're adding to that mix. Also moving forward with the lot on the Willis side, and that'll be 5 more townhome style units. So looking at getting 13 new units on that block, 2 blocks really, in the next probably 6 to 9 months, they'll get going. So both companies want to, if approved, would want to get started this fall with dirt work, get foundations in, and be able to get it enclosed hopefully by winter.
Okay.
So, but more to come on that. We'll invite the proposer to the meeting on the 18th to tell a little bit more about what they've done, but definitely look over that proposal in the packet.
Great. Any further discussion on setting the public hearing? If not, call the roll, please.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, resolution replacing the income offset programs memorandum of understanding. In accordance with Iowa House File 2565, the state of Iowa offset program will be administered by the Iowa Department of Revenue effective November 13th, 2023, rather than the Iowa Department of Administrative Services. The city of Perry, per resolution number 120522B, entered into the Iowa offset program and into a memorandum of understanding with Department of Administrative Services. The city wishes to continue participation in the income offset program and therefore will need to replace the current memorandum of understanding with Department of Administrative Services to a memorandum of understanding with IDR. This resolution would approve the memorandum of understanding with IDR for the income offset program and authorize the finance officer to execute said agreement to remain in the program.
I make a motion, we pass the resolution replacing the income offset program memorandum of understanding.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
We'll have to kind of re-upload the, the past few invoices that have already been submitted to the offset program, so. We have submitted several things for some, past due garbage bills that weren't paid, some rabies holds for a couple dogs, things like that. We haven't got any hits on it, but, it's we should do it, I think it was, maybe after, tax refunds were received, so if there's any hits on lottery winnings or income tax refunds, then we would get paid from that. It's a good program.
Good. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay. Next item, resolution approving RFP for environmental assessment services. The city of Perry was awarded a brownfields assessment grant through the United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and is in need of a qualified environmental professional to provide environmental assessment services related to the specifications of the awarded grant. This resolution would approve the supplied request for proposal RFP to be sent to seek professionals and would set Wednesday, September 27th, 2023 on or before 1 p.m. for such professionals to submit their RFP responses. Need a motion, please?
Make a motion to pass resolution approving the RFP for the environmental assessment services.
I'll second.
Discussion?
So this is just one of the hoops we have to jump through with the brownfield grant that we got. So we'll be posting this out and sending it to some consultants. And then reviewing that and bringing that back to the first meeting in October, hopefully for awards, so that we can really get the project started and get going with the consultant. So it can just be, Susie has worked with consultants in the past on these brownfield grants. So it could just be a staff recommendation, or if council wants to assign one or two to help review, that's fine too, but I think I've been in on a couple. Susie has done them from the beginning of time. That we've been doing the grants. So if anybody has a strong interest, just let us know. If you would like to go over those RFPs, we'll probably do that Wednesday afternoon that they're due, so that they can get to Liz expediently, which I did not do last Friday with this RFP. So we are gonna make it up to Liz. So just let me know if you want to be a part of that. So.
Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Thank you. Having no other business before us, we are adjourned at 7:06 PM. Thank you. Have a good evening, but.